Hey, final shaky camera time. Thank you for bearing with me on this long, dark, mysterious journey. So, what do I think demons are? Okay, well, I think first of all, I think what people experience as demonic and what people experience as possession is caused by a whole range of things, some of which are mundane, some of which are probably more esoteric and unexplained, or not kind of not part of the scientific orthodoxy. And I think if demons do exist, and I think there's a good chance that they do, I suspect that they are interdimensional creatures. So they're creatures, if you like, non-physical creatures. So they don't have a physical form. I suspect they actually belong somewhere else, but leak through into our dimension and our reality. And I think that they are probably energy vampires, which doesn't mean they have, pointy teeth and they and they need a stake through the heart. I think they feed off human energy, and I think it's kind of the film Monsters Inc. I think kind of has it right, really. Think of Monsters Inc. Except for they feed off human energy, and human energy is easier to harvest if they can produce strong emotion by inducing fear or distress, which is why I think some of the demonic manifestations are so damn scary. And also why things escalate, because and go from that infestation stage to that obsession stage to that possession stage, because the demon is sucking more energy from the human being or from the whole family as it goes along, and is therefore getting stronger. So I think they like the kind of energy that comes from fear, from distress, from high emotion. And therefore I wonder whether they actually quite like exorcism as well. And I wonder that's where exorcisms can take so long. Because if you go with the kind of fallen angel theory that these are kind of satanic soldiers fighting a battle in a world of humans, ultimately against God, then wouldn't they keep quiet? They always say that the devil's best weapon is making you think he doesn't exist. But with these possession stories, they're very noisy. They make their presence known. They cause things to move around and lots of scary stuff to happen. I think they actually welcome the exorcism process, and I think my suspicion is that they play along with it. And play a role and play into the religious beliefs of the people who are possessed and the people who are trying to get rid of the spirit. Okay, which is a great servant to the church, because it does the church. It helps the church really to more people are likely to join the church if they think they're fighting the minions of evil. So I think a truly kind of demonic spirit would not draw. It would draw the attention of the church. They're kind of, in a way, they're kind of dropping themselves in it, aren't they? By kind of, making themselves so noisy and conspicuous that a priest come and then banishes them to hell. I don't think they would do that. So I think the whole drama and performance of the exorcism they feed off. And then at the very end, when they think, oh, we're pushing this a bit, lads, that's when they go quiet and, pretend that they've gone. Maybe they have, and maybe they haven't. I mean, certainly in the case that Scott Peck, or a couple of cases that Scott Peck, which we talked about earlier, that he writes about, the person becomes kind of no longer possessed, but they remain obsessed. So they still hear voices all the time, and they feel an evil presence around them. So the exorcism hasn't necessarily even worked. So what do you do if you think you've got some heebie-jeebies around? Stay calm, keep calm and carry on. There is a tradition, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit vague on this, as I can't remember where I read this, where it is, or who it pertains to. But there is a tradition where if somebody's experiencing this kind of phenomena, a team of people come along and laugh at it. Which I think is brilliant. I think that's pretty near the mark, because it's something that wants high energy, and you're just relaxed. You're not producing that kind of the energy you're not producing the food that it likes, and the fear. Laughter is the opposite of fear in a way, isn't it? So laughter dispels that fear, and then it's no longer got anything to feed upon. So I think there's something in that, really. So that's my theory. Vampiric, not stealing your blood, but stealing your emotional, psychic energy and doing anything that it can to arouse the production of high emotional states that will give it even more food. Now, that's not to say that I don't think some of the calling on divinity is a bad thing. I suspect that a lot of the practices that are used for exorcism are probably based on things that have worked. So not to say that a religious intervention is a bad thing. It could very well be just what you need, but I suppose I think that religious intervention needs to be done in a very calm and composed way. Because if it has any element of drama and hysteria to it, it will just make things 10 times worse. And some of the things that people talk about for clearing away negative energy is things like burning white sage, smudge sticks, and holy water, which is obviously the symbolism, if nothing else, of cleansing. All probably very good stuff. I don't do exorcisms. I've never done an exorcism. I'm fascinated by the whole subject. I'd love to assist in one, but I don't know. I guess I suppose the ending point to this video needs to be, what do you do if you're experiencing this kind of thing? And I certainly wouldn't dissuade anyone from going to a church, particularly if you're a member of a church or a religion or a faith. Then it would make perfect sense for them to be your first point of call, really. But I think at the same time as going along with their interventions is keep well, and as much as you can maintain a calm psychological state. Then, of course, there's the thing about lifestyle, which we talked about in one of the earlier videos. Is there anything unhealthy in your lifestyle that might be allowing this thing? Is there any object that you own that's allowing this thing? Do you live in an area where maybe people perform ceremonies, or people believe that sometimes certain places just are naturally. There's a lovely Celtic word called thin place. And it's usually a kind of positive thing, but it could work the other way. So a thin place is a place where it feels as if the veil between this world and the other realms is thinner. Normally in a good way. And there are certainly places I've experienced that I would say were thin places. Most of Cornwall, the island of Iona, and certain sacred sites, I would say are thin places where you just feel like you're at a slightly elevated kind of plane of existence. But in theory, there could be thin places that where the veil between this world and a lower form of reality is thin, and where things that maybe aren't so pleasant can seep through. And I say not necessarily evil, and I don't think demons are any more evil than any kind of predator. I think they are just creatures that feed that way. They probably have a useful purpose in the right place. But they kind of leak into our reality sometimes, and like any kind of pest or parasite that kind of gets to where it shouldn't be, like a possum in your attic, it can be a nuisance. So that is my final conclusion. Rangimarie.